Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. It's been a while and I'm very sorry for that. It has been some busy. Firstly, don't mind my background. So, I am just here to share with you my experience going to the Jum'ah in a Pakistani mosque. So, I have some Pakistani subscribers or followers. So, and I want you also to tell me, is it the culture or it is just the way some part of the Pakistanis used to do? Today, I went to the mosque to pray Juma, and entering the mosque, I was welcomed with English language, and I was very happy. Yeah, entering a Pakistani mosque, seeing someone who speaks English, and I think and hope today's Juma or today's khutbah is going to be in English language. Um, Sitting, I saw maybe just 5 people in the mosque, so I was expecting more people. So made I observed my two rak'ah and sat expecting people to come in. Then, not quite long, 2 to 3 minutes, people started coming in, and I saw someone who is like the muazzin who calls the prayer all the time. So, coming to take the microphone. So, I was thinking he was about to call the prayer, if it is maybe like the Moroccans used to do 3 times, calling the prayer 3 times, or the way most of the people do, calling it just twice, or let's say firstly once and the other one will come after. So the person took the mic and started to do something like madh. So for the people who don't understand Arabic, it is something like praising the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, and even I had a different kind of observation for their culture also, because the only thing I know is the uh, Turkish people, if you pronounce or say the Prophet's name beside them, they are going to cross their hand like this and feel something like maybe just feeling cold. But um, seeing the Pakistanis bring another type of what should I call it, culture. So they sat, and anytime the Prophet Muhammad's name was mentioned, they are going to put their hands like this and like this, like this and like this. I was surprised. I was the only different culture in there. So I was just observing and looking around. Some of them was they are looking at me and looking at how why is it not doing exactly the way we were doing, but mine is just to observe and that. When the person doing the madh, which is the praising of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ended. So the person I thought was the Imam, who later was the Imam, came in, sat on the minbar, and I was even thinking, why should you sit to give the khutbah? So sitting on the minbar and started, um, let's say, preaching, because in their language, and I don't even understand what he was saying except Bismillah Rahman Rahim. So started saying a lot of things, or let's say preaching, because I can understand he was um, reciting some verses of the Holy Quran in between. So with that, I was just observing and was thinking, when will the khutbah start, or is this the khutbah? So When when he finished, so the next thing was, when the khutbah finishes and the imam was about to start the salah, people will start filling the gaps in front. So people started moving in front, and I I followed suit. Um, to my knowledge, I was even thinking it is time for Jum'ah prayer, but not. So I saw people praying differently, just observing Salah on their own. So I was like, is this how they pray Juma? Is it that after the khutbah, people pray their own Juma Munfarid, or let's say individually? So I followed suit also. So following the person beside me. So I observed my own two rak'ah also, and get seeing the person beside me finish observing his own two rak'ah and standing up again, and seeing people around also standing up to observe another rak'ahs also. So I followed suit also, and I was even thinking it is Dhuhr they are going to pray and not Juma. So I followed suit, and I prayed also for rak'ahs, and I saw everybody sit. And the next thing was the Imam gets back to the mimbar and started. Let's say it started with Bismillah Rahman Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, and praising God. And the next thing was recited the two verses of Surah Al Jumu'ah, which we know. And the next thing also went and sat just for the break between the khutbahs, and he stood up again and gave another half part of the, which is not like a speech, but just saying, reciting some verses again, and praising the prophet also. Then from there, immediately he went back to sitting on the prayer mat, and people were there waiting also, because they understood. So I never understand. I was there observing. So the next thing was the person who calls the prayer, who I thought calls the prayer, uh, came, took the microphone again, and started to call the prayer. So I was thinking, so you're calling the prayer? Are we starting the khutbah now or something? So then he made something like calling the prayer adhan and not iqama. Adhan, because he was pronouncing every sentence from the calling the prayer. As we know, is every sentence is pronounced once in iqama and twice in adhan. So he pronounced everything twice, also like the call to prayer, like the adhan. So he did that, and the next thing was, when he got to Ashhadu Anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, everybody stood up. So I stood up also. So the next thing was, and after he finished the call to prayer, Juma started, and we pray just the same way we pray Juma. So the next thing was, after Taslim, as we all know, so Fantashiru fil art, some people stood up and went, and which I was not part of, because I was observing and I want to know the end of the way they do at the end of the Juma. So then after, the Imam took the microphone and also prayed and prayed dua and made dua for people, and they said Amin. And after the dua, people stood up also to make nafla. So the nafla was where I was also, let's say, shocked or something, or surprised, because they made the first one. the second rak'ah, third rak'ah, because I made two and I sat just to observe. So the first rak'ah, second rak'ah, third rak'ah, fourth rak'ah. But when they got to the fifth rak'ah, they did that while sitting down. So while sitting, the person I saw who stood up made four rak'ahs, did two extra rak'ahs uh, while sitting. So I don't know. I don't know the reason for that. So I have some Pakistanis subscribers and followers, and I have some friends also who um sends me messages all the time to talk about Deen and all stuff. So friends like brothers from Pakistanis. So if you know any reason for this, or if you think it is maybe how some Pakistanis used to do, maybe some part of Pakistan, or let's just say this how all Pakistanis used to do. You can just tell me in the comment section or send me a message the way you used to do. And this is it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh wa salatu wa salam ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin wa sallam. So this is my observation or my view or what I got to learn about Pakistani's culture today, or how they, let's just say, how they pray Juma. Salaam alaikum.